it's kind of like those small details and those nuances that really make what the industry is just kind of so amazing. And it's kind of like capturing that and kind of creating a bank or a library that the knowledge is there, and then I can pass it on so it continues. Because literally when these people retired, that's it. Like there's no, they've got no one on to pass it on to.
This episode is supported by the Bishop Stortford community newsletter. There's so much happening in town, it's hard to keep up. New businesses opening, community events, local stories, and opportunities for all of us to get involved and make Bishop Stortford a great place to live. That's why we created a free weekly newsletter that brings together the best at Bishop Stortford in one place. There's no endless scrolling of hunting through Facebook groups, just the stories, events, and local updates that matter. If you'd like to stay connected to what's happening in Bishop Stortford, sign up using the link in the show notes. Okay, back to the episode. Welcome to the Bishop Stortford Community Podcast, the show where we shine a light on the incredible businesses, community leaders, and local legends shaping our town. I'm your host, James O'Donnell, and today we are joined by Genevieve. Genevieve, welcome to the podcast.
Hiya, thanks for having me.
Not a problem. Genevieve, for those of us who don't know you yet, who are you and what do you do here in Bishop Stortford?
Yeah, so I am a luxury British knitwear designer. I grew up in Bishop Stortford, went to school at Herts and Essex, and have always knitted. And I set up my brand about 11 years ago, and we really celebrate British manufacturing, heritage craft, and really preserving a skill. So we manufacture in-house just outside of Bishop Stortford, and we also have our first apprentice as well.
That's exciting. You said you've always knitted. How did you get started? What's the spark?
So I've knitted since the age of 5. So I started quite young. I lost my mum at a really young age, and I just started knitting and became really kind of obsessed. It became a kind of like therapeutic practice. Knitted in secret all my life. Like when I bump into old school friends and they're like, "Oh my gosh, you knitted!" Like they never knew. Which is quite funny. And then I went on to do a degree in knitwear at Nottingham Trent University, which was 4 years. So I niched really early. Moved away, kind of worked for big kind of global brands, and then moved back to Bishop Stortford and set up my business.
That's incredible. And so luxury knitwear, explain to a simpleton like me, what does that mean?
Yeah, so everything is kind of traditionally made. So we use the highest quality certified yarns. We make everything kind of slowly. So I guess it's like slow, like very much slow fashion. So everything is kind of hand-led, made properly. So it's jumpers that last 20 years plus, if not forever. So yes, it's beautifully made. It is craft as well.
And are you creating pieces on demand, or are you creating seasons worth and then kind of creating a few pieces each season? What's that kind of dynamic?
Yeah, so we have a core collection every year, which we have online. It's kind of ready to buy. But since we started the micro factory, we've been doing a bit more kind of made to order, and just kind of seeing what customer demand is, what people react to, which has been brilliant. And as our Poppy, our apprentice, has started as well, it's kind of a nice kind of flow to get her kind of, used to making for production and everything. So it's been working really well. But we sell kind of globally, all over the world, to like the US at the moment, in Australia as it's their winter. So yes, it's kind of that's why kind of like one core collection kind of works all year.
Incredible. And is your so you work at Grandey's place? That's where your studio is based.
Yes, yeah.
And that's all about heritage crafts. Is knitting classed as one of those endangered heritage crafts? Is that the definition?
Yeah, there's multiple kind of branches in knitwear, and there's definitely some crafts that are endangered, and I'm trying to put on the endangered craft list. And I've actually just got a scholarship with Quest, the Queen Elizabeth Scholarship Trust, to learn some of the heritage skills. So I can learn it from people that are about to retire or have retired, bring it here, and then train it to continue it to the next generation. So like British knitwear as a whole has been declining since like the 70s. And a lot of the factories that are still going have modernized their technology. So they do a lot of seamless knitting, whole garment, which is great, but it completely removes the need for the person and the hand technique. So it kind of very quickly gets rid of a whole kind of part of the industry, and it's really hard to find people in those jobs.
Generally, people interested in buying kind of the high-end luxury kind of knitwear because of that effort and that skill that has gone into it. Is that what's bringing people into the fold?
Yeah, I think it's a mixture of kind of like people knowing that it's made right, it's something that will last, like the quality, like not having to buy, a jumper every year. Like they know that they buy something that they fits them, suits them, and it kind of becomes a part of them. And I feel like over the years, like when I first started like 10 years ago, no one really thought about made in UK or something was sustainable. No one ever thought about how their buttons were made and things like that. So that when I used to do my pitch in like Christmas markets and stuff, it was like a nice to have. Whereas now I feel like people are actively looking for that and have changed the way that they shop. So they're happy to pay, more for that jumper because they know they've got it, for years to come, and they'll pass it down to their children. And yeah.
This episode is being supported by one of my businesses, a brilliant local business called StortBox. If you've ever moved house, you'll know the pain of hunting for cardboard boxes, building them, taping them up, and then figuring out what to do with them afterwards. StortBox makes moving simpler with strong, reusable moving crates delivered straight to your door and collected when you're finished. Less stress, less waste, and a much easier move. It's a local business helping local people move smarter. So have a look at StortBox in the show notes below and see if it can make your next move a little bit easier. Okay, back to the episode. It's a kind of reaction against that fast fashion thing. And now people are realizing, actually, let's invest in something that lasts longer. Why does it last longer? Again, sorry for the simple question.
No, it's cool. It's the quality of the yarn. Okay. So I use Scottish and lamb's wool yarn mainly, and the quality is really high. So the durability is really high. So it really lasts and it wears well. So it doesn't pill and get all those bobbles and sag. It doesn't do any of that. And the way it's constructed, because it's hand linked, so we hand kind of construct the garment, it gives like the kind of the perfect shape. So again, it lasts, it doesn't stretch, it fits. And also, like, most of my garments are hand washed, though I say you don't really need to wash them. So you could just hang them outside in the fresh air. You don't actually need to wash your knitwear. So they're kind of low maintenance as well, which is quite good.
That sounds awesome. Now, you mentioned before that you're going to be learning some new skills. Now, for someone that's been knitting since they were 5, has got a degree in knitting and runs a business that does knitting, what new skills are you going to be learning?
Yeah, so I guess over the years, I've learned from watching, like being in factories or being with cottage knitters and watching them. And I kind of want to get the kind of, I guess, the right language, know the right processes and steps. So one of them, actually, I've got a jumper here. It's a little kids one. It says hand intarsia. So it's a geometric pattern. So it's well known for like the argyles, like, or the Gulf scenery. And that's something I've watched and I've included in the collection, but I've never really knitted it because there's hardly any machines left that do it, and it's got kind of like the whole process of how you do all the charts to draw it out and the way you knit it. There's kind of like lots of different kind of processes. I've always like admired from afar, never really done it. And then another one is sock manufacturing. So my sock manufacturer of like 11 years is retiring and no one is taking on from him. And he has like 60 years of knowledge. And so the dream is to get a sock machine and to manufacture that here, because there's going to be a massive kind of gap in the industry when he does retire. So it's kind of learning from the masters who have 60 years of knowledge, because just the smallest conversation of how, they'll give me advice on the tension or like the way something is knitted. And I will then, it will kind of really change what I'm doing.
That's really cool. I'd never thought. Obviously, socks are knitted, yes.
Yeah.
But hand knitted or but machine knitted,
So they're knitted on a machine, and he has modernised his sock machines with a floppy disk. That's how old they are. And they use, we do like really, so here is that we do all the intarsia techniques, so the argyles, spiral stripes, and he's got some of like the rarest machines that people from like factory owners from Italy come to visit to see how he's kept these machines going. And it's literally like the smallest detail, like the tiniest nuance of like the tension of one stitch will turn a sock from like a good pair of sock to a pair of sock that fits. Like it actually fits. It doesn't ride under your ankle. It washes for like I'm still wearing some that are like 7 years old. So it's kind of like those small details and those nuances that really make what the industry is just kind of so amazing. And it's kind of like capturing that and kind of creating a bank or library that the knowledge is there, and then I can pass it on so it continues. Because literally when these people retired, that's it. Like there's no, they've got no one on to pass it on to.
Unbelievable. And you mentioned also that you got Poppy, your apprentice is coming on. I just want to, for the podcast, this is you're local. You're just, Grandey's place is so, 5 minutes from the town centre. There's so many people there that are doing incredible things like you, but also then passing that on in the local area. And I just wanted to shine a light on the fact that, the work that you're doing is great, but then also you're passing it on to another generation.
Yeah. There's no knitwear industry here, so being able to kind of like create that is really exciting, and to bring on like a new generation, but also upskill locally. So I think that's really important.
Yeah, when I spoke to Helen, who was on the podcast, I was saying it's like an AI proof career, because these heritage skills, you can't replace them with tech, and there's always going to be a demand for that high end person driven business that are using traditional heritage skills. And it's just fantastic to know that you're there and to know you're so close to us all. So hopefully by coming on the podcast, more people know about what you're doing. I know you're international already, but Bishop Stortford, look what's on your doorstep. Where's the best place for people to that are interested to follow along online with the work that you're doing? And if people are interested in, oh my goodness, we're in the middle of the summer, but people are interested in getting their socks and their jumpers sorted out for Christmas presents and such like, how can we get in contact?
Yeah, so my website is genevievesweeney.com, and then I have my studio at Grandey's place, which I'm here kind of every day. So it's really nice. People can pop in, try stuff on, just have a chat and a coffee. And then on Instagram, I'm Genevieve Sweeney as well.
Fantastic. We'll link to all of those so that people that are listening in on the podcast can reach out, connect with you. And yeah, it's well worth popping up and having a look. I will do that very soon as well. Sorry, I haven't popped in personally. Are you ready for some Stortford Spotlight questions now, Genevieve?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, excellent. Most business owners I speak to say the same thing about AI. We don't know what we don't know. You may be losing hours every week to slow follow-up, repeated admin, and tasks that still depend on you, the business owner. My AI blind spot assessment finds where AI could make the biggest difference to your business. Give me 90 minutes and we may uncover hundreds of hours you could save over the next year. Check out the link in the show notes or drop me a message directly. Okay, back to the show. These are 3 super fast questions that we ask every guest that come onto the Bishop Stortford Community Podcast. First question. If you could put one sentence on a billboard in Jackson Square, what would it say and who needs to hear it the most?
So I saw something that for every £1 spent with local independent shops, 63p stays in the local community. And I just thought that was such a big thing. Like if you're going to look for a birthday card, go to the independent local shop. Don't go to the big, the big chain. So yeah, that's my message that I'd put on a billboard.
I love it. And we are lucky in Bishop Stortford because there are independents everywhere you go, and you don't have to go to the to the big stores so much, and use it or lose it. I think,
Yeah,
with
I agree.
independence, you know, support these people, and you know that's what the podcast is all about. That's a lovely comment. You'll have to send me your fact for that,
Yeah,
your link,
yeah,
so I can make sure it's attributed
yeah. I
correctly.
try.
'Cause it's a
I
great
try to
stat.
find the exact one, and I kind of cross-reference with a couple of different ones. So I'm sure it changes monthly.
Sure,
But
sure, sure it adds up. Sure it adds up.
yeah.
Okay, question 2. Where do you go in Stortford that you secretly hope never gets too popular?
This is a hard one because there's quite a few. Like obviously, Piazza, the cocktail bar, Hertfordshire Nails in Florence Walk, and then a recent one that I've discovered because I've got young kids who need their haircut is Stortford Barbers on the way out to Grandey Paddocks. They're just so good with kids when you're getting a haircut. So like I love the fact you can go in with the kids, they get the haircut and they're happy, and it's not the like battle. So I don't know if you're supposed to have one, but like they're my 3 that I really appreciate having in Bishop Stortford.
You're definitely allowed 3, and I've got a big interest in trying to help kids have their hair cut. Both my boys have got long hair. I'm probably living vicariously a little bit through them, but my 3-year-old has never had his hair cut, and we have not been able to kind of get over that bridge yet to a space where he's happy to have it done. He loses his mind. So I will take that as a good recommendation.
Mine used to do the same, and now they look forward to going. So that's how good it was there. So
that's what we need. Thanks for that. I will be sending this episode to my wife.
Yeah.
Question 3: who's doing something special in town that more people need to know about?
I hope it's okay to do it a little bit out of town, but I feel like Grandey's Place is an amazing space. We're full of heritage crafts, so we have globe maker, ceramicist who does mud clubs in the evening. We have stained glass windows. We have the micro bakery, and everyone is doing heritage crafts and keeping it alive, and it's just the most amazing community. And we do monthly tours, we do school tours as well, so we get young kids coming to do like workshops with us, and then we do twice a year we do kind of a big open day as well.
Wonderful. I think more people should be heading out to see you. I want you guys to be sending people away because there's too many people that come up and see you every single day. It's an incredible space, and I can't, since starting the podcast, I've learned more about what you're doing, but I can't believe more people. I mentioned Grandey's Place and they have no idea what I'm talking about. So, let's shine a light on the work that you're doing, but all the other, specialists that are there and the skills that they are keeping going. It's fantastic. Fantastic. Thank you for all the work that you're doing. Again, what is the best place to people to follow along with the work you're doing online?
So the best place is my website, GenevieveSweeney.com, or on Instagram. You get the real kind of behind the scenes of life in the studio at Genevieve Sweeney.
Brilliant. Those will be in the show notes so people can follow along with all the work that you're doing. Genevieve, that's a wrap. Thank you so much for joining us today on the Bishop Stortford Community Podcast.
Thank you so much for having me.
Not a problem. It's been great to talk to you. If you've enjoyed this episode, the best way to support the show is to hit follow, leave a quick review on YouTube, Apple, or Spotify, and then share it on your socials so that more people know about Grandey's Place and the work that Genevieve is doing there. And if you've got someone else in town who's not on social media that you think that should be popping up to see Genevieve's work, show them this episode so that they can hear all about Genevieve's story and how she got started creating some incredible clothing out in Grandey's Place. And if you've got a local legend that you think we should feature on the podcast, write their name in the comments underneath and I can reach out to them and invite them on, and we can have a little chat and shine a light on the work that they're doing in the local community. Again, Genevieve, thank you so much for joining us today on the Bishop Stortford Community Podcast.